There we go. Hi, Tatisha. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Nice to be back with another topic of what Terry Real called relational recovery. To be in relational recovery. I love that expression. And what it means when he talks about that is learning to sustain a healthy closeness, a healthy intimacy. It's learning to nourish it and to sustain it, because relationship, as we know, is not something. Sometimes people think, I have a relationship, it's something out there, but it's actually something that we need to work on minute to minute. It's not just an everyday practice, it's minute to minute, and it takes skill, doesn't it, to have a healthy closeness. What are your thoughts?
No, definitely. I definitely believe it does take skills and it takes just years of getting to know each other. Being with someone and getting to know that person on an intimate level. It was one thing to know their favorite color and maybe their favorite baseball, football game, but to truly just know who they are, their likes, their dislikes. I definitely think that is true. Working on that intimacy, that closeness, where in the Bible says you become one flesh.
That's right, where you really feel that, and I love that expression, that one flesh expression, because it makes me think of that full respect living. Just like I wouldn't be abusive towards my arm, I
Mm.
wouldn't speak badly about it. Well, that's not true. Sometimes I speak badly about body parts, but no, I wouldn't do anything to harm my body. Why do I feel it's okay then to maybe speak disrespectfully or in an abusive way to those I really love? So I love that, that you're bringing that up, because it reminds me of, some of the skills that we really need to learn, because sometimes it's not so natural for us. It's not something we learn at home, and we don't get a course before we get married. But really, we needed to learn that skill of, especially women, learning to ask for what they want in a
Mm.
relationship, learning to ask what their partners need and desire. And then, when that is expressed, being able to cherish and nurture that. And part of being able to ask your partner what they need is also to ask them what they need from you. What can I give you to help me give me what I need? So, if I need you to be home by 7 o'clock and you know you're not going to manage that, shall I send you a text and ask you, what's going on? I see you late. Will you be home? Can you update me? Because you might be taken up by your work and have forgotten that you even said that, let's just say. So it's not necessarily something personal against me, but I need to know. So then I need to ask. What comes up for you?
No, I as you were saying that, it definitely resonates with me because it reminds me of a different topic we had talked about, and it kind of relates to the fact that you have to communicate. Our first topic was clear communication,
Right,
and part of just getting that closeness, being that intimate closeness, is communicating. Like you said, you be home by 7. If you're not home by 7, should I shoot you a text? Should I call you and say, hey honey, are you on your way?
right,
I definitely agree. I definitely agree. But it takes time. It takes time to get there. You just gotta get to know that person, get to know each other, and get to know if there's some people that just don't have a mindset of time. They swing in when they swing in and they swing out when they swing out. And when I say that, I think of one coworker that I have. He started at 9 o'clock, and 9, 10, he's strolling in. He just doesn't have that concept of time. So if you have a spouse like that, that's with a person that is always on time, just trying
right,
to find that happy medium to say, okay, I know my husband is going to be late, so let me not get disappointed. It's not about me. That's just their style.
right. But to maybe ask, and then to that asking is, honey, I need you to, when you say you're going to be here at 9, to be at 9, what can I do to help you? And is it possible for you to be here at 9? Or is there flexibility? Can you be here within 15 minutes of promising?
Mhm.
And then what do you need? Do you need me to send you a text an hour before just to remind you? You said, because whatever, there's traffic. So I think one of the skills that we need to learn, it's very clear to know what we don't want. It's not always clear to articulate what it is we do want. And when we know what we don't want, we very often articulate in the form of a complaint.
Mm.
And that complaint is often you never, you always. And I always say to clients, behind every complaint or under every complaint is actually a request.
Exactly. A request and a want.
Exactly. That expresses what my need is.
Mhm.
Can you take the garbage out before we go to bed at night? Instead of you never take the garbage out.
Mhm. And just really understanding that it's not about you a lot of times. I go back to my coworker who swings in at 10 after 9. It's not about, the job. It's just that's who he is, that's what he has done.
Right.
But to try to get to learn how to accommodate each other in a sense where it's like, okay, I know my wife or my husband's going to be late. Like you said, to go back to that, okay, how can I help you be on time, and to understand where you both are coming from. So it's not just you, I'm adapting to you, but it's you having to adapt to me as well.
Right. And I love that example of your coworker because I would bet my bottom dollar that he's flexible with time. In other words, if your office closes at 5 or whatever, he'll be the one who'll be compassionate to a client who'll come late and he'll stay an extra bit.
Actually, he doesn't.
Oh, really?
He
I was
is
going
the
to
one, as soon as the clock strikes the time to go, he's gone.
Oh, really? That's so interesting. I was going to say, I thought it would probably swing both
I
ways,
know.
but it doesn't.
It doesn't.
That's very
But
interesting.
it just goes back to, like I said, just, being able to just get to that closeness where, okay, this is my spouse, this is what they do. How can we both bend and accommodate for each other?
Exactly. And to know and remember that you're not going to get everything. You can't, I need you to go to an AA meeting 5 days a week and psychotherapy once a week. You're not necessarily going to get everything.
Hmm.
And to notice even the 5% that you do get, because it's not Father Christmas and he can't necessarily give you everything,
Hmm.
but maybe he will give you a little bit because why? Because the relationship is not something out there, it's something we live in. We depend on our relationships. They're
Hmm.
part of who we are, we're part of who they are. That's what a relationship is. It's a togetherness, it's a team.
Hmm. I definitely believe that. It's just being as one and learning how to. I was listening because to someone speak this weekend, and they talked about being evenly yoked. So being with someone that you guys kind of complement each other, and like you said, you're a team. You might not been like been complement each other from the beginning, but as years go on, you learned how to accommodate and complement each other where you guys flow together.
Right. And that brings up another thing that I think is so important, that it's not about sharing things equally.
Mm,
I had a client who was upset that one daughter, the husband really was committed to playing all his games on the computer all the time, and she was starting to take his meals to wherever he was sitting. But the daughter herself was saying, "This is tough." Another daughter had a very similar situation where the husband would come home from work in the middle of the day, take a rest, go back to work, and then when he came home in the evening, he was helpful with the kids. But she didn't mind that, the daughter, the second daughter. And I said to my client, there's nothing to fix if it doesn't bother her.
yeah.
There's nothing to fix if it don't look, that works for them. And that's theirs.
If it's not broke, why fix it? If
Exactly.
she's saying yes, he could come home, he could take a nap, and then when he comes back home, he's helpful with the kids. She's like, I'll take whatever I can get.
Right. And it works for them.
And it works for them. And that's the point. Every
Exactly.
relationship is different. And it's what works for you and your spouse. What might work for me and my spouse might not work for you and your spouse or somebody else.
100%.
But just applying whatever you can apply and see. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, okay, we try something different. But I
Exactly.
feel like relationships is constantly about just trying. Every day you're trying to continue that, to stay together. What do we have to do to do that?
Right. Right. To reevaluate, to have it, keep it fresh. You're so right.
Yes.
Tatisha, thanks again for being with me.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
Great conversation.